A Canadian is one of 4 astronauts named yesterday who will fly around the moon next year as part of a NASA mission. And joining us to talk more about Artemis 2 is the crew's mission specialist, Jeremy Hansen. It is an honor to speak with you, sir. And first off, congratulations. I'm guessing you're still kind of pitching yourself that this is really happening.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit hard to believe it's sinking in just a little bit of it at a time, but I'm very excited about this mission, and definitely humbled by this opportunity.
This is a part of history, Jeremy. The fact that you're the first Canadian to orbit the moon, and I'm wondering, how does that weigh on you, especially given the fact that this is really going to inspire another generation of people who are looking to get into, the similar field, whether they want to be an astronaut or astronomy. I mean, this is, that's got to, I'm sure you feel the weight of that.
Yeah, it's not lost on me. It's certainly a big responsibility. However, I don't feel like I'm alone in it at all. When you're an astronaut, you're actually part of a huge team. You're kind of the visible face of an extraordinary team of people at the Canadian Space Agency, and with our international partners as well. I just feel really well supported in that. This is really one of the major objectives for the Canadian Space Agency, is inspiring our youth to set goals and to collaborate and to do big things. And so this is right up our alley.
I want to talk about the mission itself. I mean, you guys are going to be traveling farther than any astronauts have gone before, along with obviously taking some of the most incredible selfies ever. Let's talk about some of the things and work that's going to be done while you're up there.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty extraordinary for us. The mission profile for this is testing a new capsule, a new system. Space launch system has never had humans on it before. And so our job is to test everything out, make sure it works, and to buy down some risk for future missions. So what will end up happening is, after we launch out of the Kennedy Space Center, we'll spend about 18 hours in Earth orbit. We'll go around the Earth kind of at the same altitude as the International Space Station, but then we're going to go out really far from Earth, tens of thousands of kilometers away from the planet, testing out the systems, making sure they're ready to go to deep space. And once we're confident in the system, then we're going to fly it out around the moon and back. That'll be about another 8 days. So overall, it'll be about 10 days. And when we get to the furthest point, we will be looking back at the planet through the moon. I think that's just going to be an extraordinary perspective.
It's mind-blowing to think about it. This is just so fascinating. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done leading up to this mission. We're still far away from it. Talk a little bit about the process to get to, before you take off. What's going to be happening in the next, several months to come?
Yeah, so we call this test and evaluation when you're setting or basically evaluating a new vehicle. So we'll integrate with this broader team, people that have already been working on the vehicle, who flew the Artemis 1 mission remotely, who actually built the systems. All those experts will be joining those teams and trying to understand how we're going to integrate the humans into the system now, how we're going to enable the manual piloting aspects of this vehicle. So it's really just going into work, working with the team, coming up with a plan, getting in the simulator, testing it, see if it works. When it doesn't work, find a solution, and then move forward to the next problem. So just problem solving.
Jeremy, what was the reaction from your family?
My wife and children are just very authentically happy for me, which is pretty touching for me. I feel really well supported by them. They've known that this is something I'm very passionate about, my work in the space program. I have a very strong belief that it brings great value for humanity, and they really support me in that mission, and I'm really appreciative of that. They've been really terrific.
You've when you look at some of the guys who have gone up before you, Mark Arnault, Chris Hadfield, you're joining a very elite group of Canadians that have this honor of doing this. What's kind of the message that I talked about this that you do want to send to other people out there who are watching, who have these big ambitious dreams? Because I'm guessing that you probably had a lot of these big ambitions when you were growing up, and now you're starting to fulfill this as a reality.
Yeah, I definitely share a couple things with our Canadian youth. If I look back at my path, some of the biggest impacts were setting a goal, just simply knowing what I wanted to do. But then the most important aspect was telling others about that. And it was those people that really enabled me to achieve my goals along the way, that helped me pick myself back up when I met or came upon challenges or had a failure. And so that's really important. Set goals, share them with other people, and you'll be able to accomplish amazing things. And that's what I was so proud of Canada yesterday, because that's what was being demonstrated for everybody to see, is that Canada has set some big goals over decades. Thousands of people have been working on our space program, growing it, giving us credibility with our international partnership, and now to the point where we've been asked to fly on the first mission to deep space. That's a real feather in Canada's cap. I want Canadians to know that they really ought to be proud of that accomplishment, and that this is not the pinnacle. This is just one more step. You know, all of this will be eclipsed at some point in the future, and we're going to go on and do some extraordinary things. That's amazing to think about.
Well, and furthermore to that, Jeremy, I can tell you, and I'm sure I can speak on behalf of Canadians, that Canada is proud of you. Congratulations. This is just an incredible, historic moment. And I'm looking forward to more chats down the road. And this is just very exciting. Thanks for joining us, Jeremy. Appreciate it.